Today's episode of Desertwood Days with Kathy Blaze is sponsored by Dork Publishing, expanding minds through fantasy since 2018. Learn more at the Dork Publishing website, www.dorcpublishing.com.
I wanna visit all the places nobody goes. I wanna teach all the things that nobody knows. I wanna grow wings, leave the coop, learn to fly. Bungee jump from the tallest building in Dubai. I wanna fly around town in my UFO. I wanna eat real food, not the GMOs. I wanna make moves, call the shots like the boss. I wanna love like I never lost.
Welcome back to Desertwood Days, and today we are excited to have singer-performer Mr. Razz Berrie. Hello there.
Hello.
Such a pleasure to see you.
Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting
Happy
you
to be
too.
here.
Razz Berrie.
Yes.
So, where did the name Razz Berrie come from?
I'm so happy that you asked me that. I've been waiting for someone to ask me this. So this is actually inspired by one of my favorite songs, Razz Berrie by Prince.
Wait. I got to show you my pillow. This is Prince's pillow.
No way.
Yes, it belongs to my set designer, but I get the privilege of sitting with Prince every
Look,
show.
That's nice. It
Isn't
probably has
it
good
awesome?
juju on it.
Yes.
I'm jelly of that. But yeah, so like my friends, during this really tough time in life, I was like going through the worst time in life. My mental health was not that good. My gaming friends would refer to me by my new gamer tag, Razz Berrie.
Okay.
And I started producing music again at this time because I'd taken a long break, and then just the new stuff I was coming up with, it just felt different than what I was going with before. So tying this name into it, and then I looked at the spiritual meaning of it because I'm a spiritual person, and just how it symbolizes like, you know, gentleness and creativity and stuff like that. It just really resonated with who I am as a person and what my message in music was going to be. So I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago,
it just worked.
Yeah.
Oh, and I see you got the earring
Yes,
going
the raspberry earring. One of my
Yeah.
gamer friends actually got this for me. It's like my little lucky earring. I do put it, only wear one of them, but yeah, I do like to have something raspberry on at all times.
Thanks for sharing that. So, do you like being called Razz or Raspberry?
It doesn't matter. Most people call me Razz because
Oh.
Razzy Razz, Razzle Dazzle, like whatever kind of nickname you want to give me, it all fits.
Okay, I'm gonna stick with Razz.
Okay.
So Razz, I like to ask. I want to know about that young Razz.
Okay.
Where did you start from? What inspired you to be in this industry?
Sure. I've always been a musical person ever since I was young. My parents put me into a performing arts school in 3rd grade. So I started with musical theater, like acting and dancing and singing and stuff like
Okay.
that. So just growing up, I stuck with that. But when my parents got divorced when I was 16, there was a lot of really rough life changes at that point. I really started getting into musical production, like my own type of music and writing more. I got a guitar and stuff like that. So I just, from that point, dealing with like when my mental health issues started setting in, then it was a big coping mechanism for me. And I feel like
it was a good outlet for you.
exactly. And I felt so empowered doing it. And I just felt like doing that was like my calling in life. So I don't know, it's been something that's always been like in my DNA. I remember writing songs when I was 5 about rainbow rain, like very silly stuff, but just like with my sister, we'd write songs or like do like little talent shows in the living room with my other kids, a couple kid friends from elementary school. So
Right.
it's always been like inside of me. I don't know.
So if you were to name a singer performer that you admired the most, that you can say, you know what, I see a little bit of me in that person, who would that be?
I'd probably say Prince, just because watching him perform, I love to perform. I like to put on the show, and because of like the fashion that he puts out, the message that he's like just so fearless in his sexuality and in himself. That's something that I strive to build on myself, and I try to put in my own music. So I love to like watch his interviews and stuff and he has like a sassy attitude because I got that too. Like he's like a whole mixture of different stuff, but he's just so gentle. I feel like at the end of the day, and it just. I don't know, I really connect
And you
with
know
him.
what, one thing that I love about Prince, and I don't know if you're this way, that he didn't allow people to put a label on him.
Yeah, I love that.
Prince was who he was.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, or you call him a he, she, a him, whatever. He didn't allow you to put those labels on him.
Right.
So that was one thing that I loved about Prince.
Yeah.
He was Prince.
Yeah, he was just who he was, and it's the fearlessness in his expression of creativity. Like he put it out there, the art. He just made the art, and you took it how you wanted to, and that's the same type of like, I don't know, energy I have when I put it out there. Like, yeah, I have like the audience in mind, but this is what I'm going through right now, and I'll put it out there. So I don't know.
See, I'm older than you, but growing up, I grew up on Prince.
Okay.
And back then, in those times, especially young men, they were trying to figure out Prince. They didn't know how to receive him.
Right.
But
women
received him well. I mean, because they saw him as a sexy man.
Right,
and
who wasn't afraid.
Right, who performed, who dressed however he wanted to dress. Okay, he didn't ask for no permission to.
Right, and he was some really risque.
But back then in that time, men didn't know. I felt that men didn't know how to receive him.
Yeah, I feel like that is what a lot of artists struggle with nowadays, especially here in Arizona, that are, because I identify as gay. I know that Prince didn't really identify as anything particularly, but it's hard because a lot of like heterosexual men, for instance, are intimidated by that for some reason, but it's no different, I feel like. So whether someone's sexuality is this or that, when it comes to the art, it shouldn't matter, but that's something that I think.
And you know what? I don't know if it's that they're intimidated. I think it's just their belief system.
Probably.
I don't know. I don't know if it's so much intimidation. I think it's more of their belief system.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And you know what? Everyone has a right to believe in what they believe in.
True.
I mean, but don't put your belief system on someone else.
Exactly.
Right. So Prince would be that guy for you.
Right. He's like the cream of the crop for me. Like I could listen to him all day if I needed to. Like I have all his, not all of them, but a lot of his records. Like I love to collect vinyl, so I have like 6 or 7 of his records. So
yeah, I do. I still have vinyls also.
Yeah, I love the sound.
Yes. I remember at one point I was tempted. You know, I was going through one of these phases that I want to get rid of stuff out the house, and I even told my cousin she could have all my vinyls, and then I took it back. I said, no, you can't have my vinyls.
Right, it was like, oh, just kidding, look.
Right, because I have something I had since high school.
Oh,
like,
see?
Oh, no, you can't have
I have a hard time getting rid of stuff like that. Like that and books for me. Like I love books too. I can't get rid of them.
Yeah. So, Razz, you're a sharp dressing guy. I mean, I saw one of your videos, and we're going to get into that later. Where do you get your style from? Do you think that you have a style, or it just depends on how you're feeling for the day?
Really, it kind of depends on how I'm feeling. I've really been experimenting with fashion lately because one of my favorite artists, Queen Herbie, she raps and sings, and she's also into fashion. So she like post tutorials and stuff, and I watch like shows that have to do with fashion, and I love when people create something from nothing. So I like the certain colors that I like. I could put this outfit together just from stuff I've had in my closet, and I just like to, I don't know, it's just like how I'm feeling. Like sometimes I'll dress up in more of like a blazer, or I'll wear I wore a dress for Mesa Pride, and that was really cool, but like I just like to however I'm feeling in that moment. But I feel like I'm starting to develop my fashion sense. I don't know what it is quite yet, but it's above average, I feel like. Like it's not just like a t-shirt and jeans type of deal. You feel me?
Right, and you'll get there because one of these days you'll be known for, that's Razz.
Right, that's a Razz icon or something. Like, I do want to have my own clothing line one day, but that's later down the road once I get that all together. But yeah.
So how long have you been performing? How would you say how long have you been professionally performing?
Professionally, since 2019. That's when I had my first performance as Razz Berrie.
Oh, okay.
And specifically this year, I've performed like once or twice every month. So I've really been getting into it heavy this year. But since 2019 is when I really started like putting my feet down on the pavement here in Arizona. So.
Where are you originally from?
I was born and raised here, actually, in Chandler. I've moved up, right.
Okay.
I moved all over the place, but yeah, I was born in Chandler.
Okay. So do you resonate with a specific genre of music, or how do you describe your music?
Yeah, like I grew up listening to R&B, Motown, like The Temptations, Jackson 5. and like Biggie, Tupac, so like 90s hip hop. So that's what I tend to
So you
go
like
to.
those that music that I mean they're not just on the stage singing, they are
Right.
performing.
They're giving performances and they're
Yes.
talking about stuff. Like I feel
Right.
like that's something that I like because I have to feel the music, and I've always felt that, and I feel like it's timeless music. So that's what I always like settle down to at the end of the day. No matter what comes out, that's new. So
Do you feel like you have an old soul?
absolutely,
Yeah.
I've always been told that. Like everything I do is old soul. Like I'm only 29, but I could be like 60. I don't know.
Do you have other performers in your family?
My sister, she went to school with me and she has a very good voice. She doesn't do anything professionally with it, but she likes to sing and dance as well. I'm the only person that I know of that's like
That's out there.
the performer.
Oh.
But yeah, that's pretty much
Do you
it, just
dance
me.
also?
Yes, I love to dance.
Oh.
I've been dancing, I mean, since elementary school, but I love to hip hop dance.
Oh.
Specifically, like I used to take hip hop dance classes all the time, and I love to dance to my own music. That's why, like, when I'm dancing, I just like it's so carefree to me. I just feel so relaxed, and I don't know. I'd love to dance.
I love that. Well, if you're an overall performer, I mean, dancing is a part of it.
Yeah, the whole
mean,
9 yards.
There's some that are just sing. They would get on the stage, you know that they're just going to sing.
Right,
Yeah.
like a park and bark like Adele or something, which is fine.
Yes,
You know,
which
people do
is-
what they need to do, but I like to give them some movement and transition.
You know, I like to also ask this question because, you know, we hear all the time that the music scene here in Arizona still has a lot of work that needs to be done,
Yes.
a lot of growth. What is your take on that? You've been doing this for quite a while. What is one major change you might have seen here in Arizona?
I think that it's been a lot more open to differences when it comes to like the LGBTQ side of things.
Okay.
Like the group that we had for Pride, we've all been performing around together, and it's our first time coming together. And I feel like when there's more acceptance for that in the working environment, we're able to branch out more because we're bringing in different walks of life now, not just
Right.
from our side of things, but I feel like that's something that since 2019 to now, I've seen there's a lot more places for us to perform that feels more comfortable, more accepting, and that's like a step in the right direction because I feel like without us, you don't have all the colors of the rainbow for the music scene here, and that's important.
Okay, so you're a singer, you're a performer. Okay, and this is just a question I want to ask personally. You're a singer, you're a performer. Does it matter if you're gay, straight, whatever? I mean, why does it have to be a label to the performer? I mean, let's say if you're gay, I mean, we have this big performance happening.
Right.
We have these 5 bands okay, do we really need to know that this person is gay or straight or whatever? Razz get up there and does his thing.
Right.
Susie get up there and does her thing. Do we really need to know? I mean, if it's about inclusion and everyone getting their performing, showcasing their art, do we need to really know that? Can you explain that to me?
Yeah, I think we do need to know that just because when I was growing up, I didn't have a lot of role models that were out sexually because that's not something we're taught growing up. Like, it's a whole new territory. So to have people like Lil Nas X, for instance, or other artists that come out as bisexual, you're able to see yourself in people you idolize. So when you're seeing other people in your circle locally who are also the same color as you or the same sexuality, that makes you believe you could also do something like that because we don't see ourselves depicted in media positively a lot of the time. So we have shows that are like, oh, this is an LGBT cast or a director because representation matters across the board. So I get that, like, it doesn't matter to a certain extent, like whether they're straight or gay, but when it comes to a market that's dominated by the heterosexuality, it's nice to know when there's someone that's like Sam Smith, for instance, as well as Lil Nas X, that we can look up to. That's a positive role model for LGBTQ.
Okay, I like that explanation.
Yeah.
But I feel that we need to get to a point where we're just all performing out there.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter what our sexuality is.
And I think it'll get there
because
one day.
once Razz is out there promoting Razz wants to showcase his sexuality or whatever he is, that's up to Razz. But when we get to performing, it's about art.
Right.
So I think we're going to get to that point where you don't feel like you have to do that, or others don't have to feel like they have to do that.
Right.
And I love that you guys are out there performing and you're representing who you are. So you're showing our young people or other people that it's okay to be who you are.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that. So I know you brought us some media today. Let's get into some art, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So what do we have here?
Oh, well, this is me. My headshot, done by one of my friends, R Squared Media from years ago. We've connected back, but he took all of my photos, and this is what we did in Tempe Marketplace, my first ever photo shoot. So,
Okay.
yeah, it's my like iconic picture that I use for everything, so people recognize me as that.
Okay. What does your T-shirt say?
That's the Toon Squad Space Jam.
Okay.
You know, it's a little 90s throwback right there.
Okay now.
Yeah. I loved Space Jam.
And right here, I love this.
Thank you. This is actually my second album artwork. I designed it myself, called Growth. It was really cool to do this because I did it on Procreate. It's mostly digital, and I was like fooling around with stuff, but it came out really well in the end. I put it on T-shirts that I've been selling, and I've gotten so many compliments on it. I just feel like it gives that pop of color.
It does.
Yeah, I love it. But yeah, that's my second little album right there, currently
I
out.
love that purple on the edges also.
Yes, thank you.
You're not depressed, but you never say it with your chest. Yes, you're coming at me right and left, ambidex, cause you know that I'm a catch. Pokedex, like Miss Ariana said. Thank you next, thank you next, thank you next. To me, doesn't make you rich. I got this car with no drip of privilege. It's so whitewash, this world we're living in. I got beauty in my skin, so I keep on coloring, keep on coloring.
Loved it, and that jacket.
Right. So look, everyone loves that jacket.
Daisy, so where was this performance at?
This was at the Phoenix Pride here. It was like Indian Stills Park or something like that. But yeah, Phoenix Pride.
Wonderful. Have you performed at Pride before?
That was my first time, actually. So it was really exciting. It was on the community stage. It was like a bigger stage, just the main stage, but that was a smaller one. But yeah, it was my first time. So.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And who choreographed your performance?
So I actually choreographed majority of it. The first song, Coloring, which I opened up with, one of the dancers, Apollo, choreographed that, but the rest of it I did. It was my first time ever choreographing for someone other than myself, so it was like a learning experience for me, but yeah, I did all of that.
That is awesome. Where do you see yourself, let's say in about 5 years, Razz?
In about 5 years, I see myself definitely touring and performing all over the country. Just living off of music alone, because I would like this to be my only form of income. And I just see myself living a creative life, and that is with me like painting stuff and designing clothing, because I love to have my feet in everything, all types of hats on. So in 5 years, that's gonna be me. I'll have like a whole bunch of streamers. I'll have income coming in from that. I'll have music videos.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
Exactly. Right. Just thriving.
Do you play an instrument at all?
I do. I play acoustic guitar, and I play a little bit of piano. I'm self-taught, so I'm not like a pianist by any means, but I can play a mean guitar, I feel like.
Okay. So do you have any new projects coming up?
I've been producing music recently. I have about 5 or 6 songs. I'm probably going to put out a new album before the end of the year. My third one this year, which is pretty intense. So I don't know if I'll be able to do that, but I definitely have some new music coming before the end of the year.
Okay. So I like to ask this question. If there was one thing that you would like to see change here in the industry, what would that be for you?
I would like there to be more of an opportunity for artists to perform without the whole pay-to-play situation where you have to put down money to book a show, because a lot of us don't have that big pool to also then, if we're financially supporting ourselves, to book the club at that. So if there was more places that understood that, like we're bringing business to your bar, your restaurant, we don't have to sell tickets or anything, but having that would make it a lot easier for us to go out and be seen and perform. So that would be really beneficial.
Okay. So where can our audience find you?
You can find me everywhere: Instagram, Spotify, TikTok under Razz Berrie. That's RAZZBERRIE.
Oh,
I have like the same picture everywhere. So.
okay. Where can they find your music, Razz?
Spotify,
Tell 'em.
Apple Music, Tidal, YouTube, anywhere you listen to music, Razz Berrie. That's where it's at. Check me
Hey,
out.
it was such a pleasure having you here with us today.
Absolutely.
Just love everything about Razz.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us here today on Desertwood Days, and we'll catch you next time.